Disclaimer: the information and education material contained herein is meant to promote the general understanding and dialogue of GAN's processing. Such information is not meant or intended to serve as a substitute for a healthcare professional's clinical training, experience, or judgment. For patients and individuals, such information is not to be a substitute for professional medical, therapeutic, or healthcare advice or counseling. For medical issues or concerns, including decisions about medications and other treatments, readers, viewers, listeners should always consult their physician or, in serious cases, seek immediate assistance from emergency personnel. Prescription information, procedures, and use of medical devices information should be undertaken only by properly trained and certified medical personnel. We specifically disclaim any warranties, express or implied, including implied warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. Such information is provided, as is, and is believed to be accurate at the time of its publishing, but it is the viewer's job to evaluate the accuracy of any information found in this presentation. Every case presented is of their own experience, applied by themselves for themselves, and it applies to their case only. Every person experiencing health problems should seek professional medical advice and consult their course of treatment with a doctor. The processes of plasma balancing described herein are a natural process which supports the body but does not replace medical advice or therapies one is already subject to.
It's time for change to move into the real work of the universe. And it's time to understand that we use the matter state to reach the level of understanding of the soul of the man. Now you understand maybe why the Creator has sent His messengers in the name of whatever you have had. Is that they bring the ears, that it can be used when the time of the Messiah comes. They can teach the soul and the message, not to oppose, but by them understanding through those who have become messiahs, to give from their souls to these to elevate, the job is made easy. The school is there and the students are devotedly there. Then there won't be any fight between what they call the Muslims and the Christians. The lamb and the lion will eat and sleep in the same nest. The Christians and the Muslims will sleep and pray in the mosque and in the same church in the name of their souls, not in the name of religion that is used to create so much conflict for the benefit of those who were the hyperactive children. The time has come, the time of change is here. And as I said, my wish is my command. If it's your wish to see peace, the path of peace is laid very clearly. It's the soul of the collective awareness, by giving, will create that position of change. No other thing. There is no pen in the soul of the man. And I'm sure once you go into the universal community, you will never see anything written but the balance of the fields of the soul of the existence. Try to be humble enough not to and you possess. Otherwise you'll fall in the same path of the church and the mosque. This is what we promised, and this is what we have delivered. We have to understand the operation of the soul, and we have to understand the soul of the man is a star in the cosmos of the universe. If we compare the soul of the man and many of us, 7 billion in one collection, Earth is like a galaxy with so many stars. When we look in the depth of the universe, we see galaxies with hundreds of millions of stars in it. So is the planet Earth. It carries 7 billion beautiful stars, which are the soul of the man. Carries with it soul of so many trillions of animals, plants, and everything else. So if you look, when someone who does not see the physicality of the earth and its content, what do they see? They see a galaxy with so many beautiful lights shining, each one according to their strength, each one according to their position. An infant has a beautiful soul, so has the old man. To those who do not see the physical dimension of this planet, but they see the strength of the field, we are clusters of stars. The human race, every single soul, no one from a distance sees that's the soul of a fisherman, that's the soul of the cosmologist, that's the soul of the president. They all shine irrespective of the physicality. This is the magic. This is what the new science has to bring to man. When we look to our soul, we see nothing but a star in the other souls. And this is the break. This is the understanding. This is what all these teachings are about. Coming to mature to the next level, to understand in the deep space, the universe is the oyster for those souls who serve. Then man is ready to go into space. Then man is ready to become part of the universal community which has been promised. I never promised you heaven. I always promised you the elevation of the man to join the family. And now you have the key. It's you who has to open the door to understand, if I can raise the soul of these people or millions of other souls, that the physical life on this planet changes, then I'm worthy to be part of the universal community. To be there to serve, to expand, to be there, to be part, that in the cycle of life of universe, I become, in being part, I become part of the totality. When man reaches that point, a new dimension in the strength of the soul of the man will appear, which is beyond imagination of understanding of the physical life. It's the gate to the opening of the new life, in a new dimension, which is beyond imagination of what you might call a new beginning, a new cycle, which that cycle carries with itself the origin of the creation of life in the universe and in the universe. It's the elevation of the soul to serve, become the key, not a throne of the physical life. The time is right. The time has come for the man to go through this process.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 424th One Planet, One Nation, One Race for Justice and World Peace here on Tuesday, March 31st, 2026. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute, Education Department, and part of the public teachings in English. My name's Rick Crammond, and I will be host once again in this weekly series of workshops. And once again, we are joined with members and support members of the Universal Council who will be presenting today's program. So let's get into the program and see what we have in store for today. I believe
Thank you, Rick. We want to thank our host as well, as he's been here for an innumerable number of workshops and hosting many platforms in the Keshe Foundation. So we recognize your presence and thank you for that. And of course, that extends to each and every one of us as we're part of this one planet, one nation, one race. I guess we're here because our souls have brought us here, but also because we see what can be possible in the future. And it's really being put together totally by the Keshe Foundation in a way, and we're just here to support and help to deliver this new child. I guess the new child has been delivered. Now we just need to perfect it in a way, but we have an alternative structure that's being set up in a way as a game at this point in time, but it will lead to far-reaching ramifications in the future for all of us. Again, I have envisioned this game in a way to be a new marketplace for the world, a new supermarket for the world, a new power station for the world, a new travel agent for the world. And so I want to thank each and everyone for being here and in a way having that vision, or the soul sees and the physicality is here, not maybe completely understanding why, but I think as days and weeks and months go on, we'll start to see the change. As we heard, it won't happen tomorrow. So we're here for the long term. And again, we're just helping to move this whole process forward as a gift to humanity in a way, as I see it. So thank you all for being here. We'll have a structure being set up and is in the process of being perfected that will allow us to operate in a way, a separate sort of platform at this time as an alternative to what we see: war, destruction, killing, life being so harsh to exist for many. Many it's not, but for many more it is. And this is part of the process of, in a way, the enlightenment and bringing peace to the man. And of course, much of this is going to happen on the energy dimension. So hang in there, continue to promote it. And over time, again, weeks, months, years, this has already been perfected in a way throughout the universe, maybe a little bit different style, but again, we're just going through birthing pains, and the eventuality will be to join with the universal community in a much more deeper and apparent way. And maybe the events that are happening now is going to contribute to that. And I don't all just mean the wars and the destruction, but other things that are being sort of opened up or to be announced in the coming time, that perhaps we're not so alone in the universe. So thank you all for being here. If anyone wants to contribute or add anything else to it, but we do thank the beautiful souls that are here and the ones that are here, not only with their physicality, but just in the energy dimension. So thank you. There's a lot more, as we're finding out, going on in the background or the dimension that we can't physically see with our eyes, that we're not totally aware of, but it's all coalescing into a beautiful one planet, one nation, one race for world peace. And of course, if you have a better idea of a way to bring it, right to info@Keshe Foundation and suggest it, or as we understand it, we'll hear if you're an expert in any sort of field, because this technology is going to touch everything in the long term. So every product, and this is why we're setting up sort of a vertical integrated system, and it's going to be quite pleasurable, I think, to operate in this system, and for humanity to bring themselves out of poverty of the physicality but not only the poverty of the physicality, but the poverty of our thinking or our minds. So I think it's an enhancement in the physical dimension as well as an enhancement in the energy dimension. And we're just starting to open this whole energy. But this is why we're here. We're operating, creating those energies that will see the manifestation in its physicality in the time to come. So thank you all again. Anyone else? If not, let's move to the next slide.
And next we have the World Peace Treaty, and I believe Moshfeq's going to say something about that.
Okay, yeah, World Peace Treaty, we have been hearing about it for a while. Let's take a slightly different route and looking at it. You know, we in this meeting, One Nation, One Planet, One Race meeting, we focus on the soul side or the energetic side of it. So we have heard about signing the World Peace Treaty. We can sign it with a pen. More importantly, we can sign it with a soul. So what does signing with a soul may lead to or may mean? As we engage our soul to create the peace, we are essentially sending the energy to the local sphere, local place, or the planetary sphere as a whole, or anything in between, to affect energetically this region of space and time. Now, so we're talking about this place, which can be your neighborhood or the whole planet. We send the energy. And when does peace manifest? Well, it depends on how much we bring to the table, the possession, how much. So if there is enough of us, and each of us bring their own field strength, the higher the field strength, the more we have to engage, the more we can alter the time. So your participation, our participation, determines when the pieces come. We can say, we can ask the question, well, is it coming tomorrow, next month, next year? Doesn't matter. We set the pace. Now that we know that peace is coming, whether the war that we are seeing, does it matter? Maybe we need this war to speed up things. And those who are participating or creating this are listening to the urgent need of dismantling what is there. How they do it, that's none of our concern. Our concern is peace. We, the Universal Council, and those who participate with the Universal Council, doing it together with the Council to create this peace. So, as you have seen in science fiction, it is time to engage. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Mosh.
One thing I forgot to mention, the only difference is that it is no longer fiction. It is the reality we are making.
Okay, very good, Moshfeq. Okay, I think we can move to our next position here, which is what's called the wishes. And we have a number of wishes, and we'll have 1 full minute of silence to respect and implement each wish. And let me see. Mashfek, I believe you begin.
Yeah. We, the Universal Council, elevate all souls in existence to play the game of peace and enlightenment for the benefit of all that is.
We, the Universal Council, we have started a new time. The place is the Unicos. The position is the soul of planet Earth. Possession is hydrogen. Emotion, unconditional love.
We, the Universal Council, elevate the soul of the people of planet Earth for them to be able to connect to the Creator without any intermediary. Our wish is our command.
Mosfek?
We, the Universal Council, give from our souls collectively for feeding all hungry people of soul or food in the world.
We elevate the souls of all members in the past, present, and future of the Universal Council as one soul, as part of the totality of the knowledge of creation. These are our wishes, and our wishes we command.
We, the Universal Council, make conditions for the whole structure around the Keshe Foundation to be supported financially and to have what they need at the point of need to bring a total change. Our wish is our command.
We, the Universal Council, give from our field strength to empower the world leaders to negotiate and sign the World Peace Treaty, pledging their nations to a permanent and everlasting peace on earth and throughout the universe.
When you
Next.
remember it, I'm sorry. When you remember it, you saw. When you remember it, like you remember it, the God, and you said, and you remember it, you say, I love you, my soul. I live you, and I love with you, and I adore you because you very, very happy for connecting with your soul of physicality, with the soul of the man. It's like when you say, thank you so much, all cells in my body or connected all, all my structure, physical structure with the soul of physicality. When you remember at that moment, you expand your soul to connect soul to the others around you, because all around the earth and of course around the universe is one big soul. And that moment when you expand connected to the other is the moment for you express it, you wish like today, the wish is like a last wish is elevate the soul of the all leaders around the world. You point of view as you wish, of course you do. Y continúe en mi idioma. Cuando usted recuerda a Dios, usted recuerda su alma, con mucha alegría. Recuerde y pronuncia estas palabras. Yo te amo, mi alma. Vivo contigo, mi alma. Amo contigo, te amo y te adoro. Lo más hermoso que le puedes decir a tu alma que te conecta con felicidad, tu alma de la fisicalidad, con tu alma del hombre. Es como cuando le dices a las células de tu cuerpo, te amo, gracias, porque me das todo para vivir. Te conectas entre una a una para formar parte de mi ser. Y luego expande toda esa energía que son estas dos almas conectadas a conectarte con el alma de cada ser que existe en la Tierra y en el universo, porque todos somos una sola alma expandida por todo la Tierra y por todo el universo. Nos conectamos y pensamos y elevamos nuestras almas al nivel de conectarnos entre todos como el alma de la paz, buscando en ese deseo de la paz que sea concretado. Nos conectamos todos unos con otros. Sentimos y elevamos el alma de los líderes de todo tipo de comunidad, científica, médica, gobernantes, financieros, todos, para elevar su alma, para que entiendan que el único camino es la paz, que cambia todo su comportamiento de acuerdo con la ética del Creador, nos permitirá también elevar el alma de la Tierra y así cada ser en el planeta irá eliminando el sufrimiento de este planeta, que recordemos que es lo que entregamos también al universo, para que el planeta Tierra eleve su alma y pueda ser parte de toda la comunidad universal. Entonces nos concentramos, nos comunicamos nuestras almas una a una. Regresamos lentamente, sin olvidar y continuando conectados con esa energía de paz y de amor incondicional que entregamos a todos los líderes mundiales, porque las personas que desean la paz somos más a través del planeta Tierra. Back slowly and remember it all the time. Give unconditional love to all leaders around the world because have more souls, peaceful souls on the earth. Thank you so much. And to the next. Thank
Okay, and next I have a video from the
you.
500.
No, sorry. Maybe before to invite to the people daily, all the time, connect your soul with the all leaders around the world to elevate the soul, but signing the peace treaty for this part of the universe at the soul of the peace at the earth at the universe, and daily invite 9 p.m. for that wish. Thank you so much. 9 p.m. Central East Time and Central Europa Summer Time. Thank you, thank you. Yes, thank you. Because we are the soul of peace. Thank you so much. Next.
Okay,
Maybe
thank you, Lizzie. I've got a video from the 576 Knowledge Seekers Workshop on becoming a Universal Council member. I'll play that now.
There's something which I should have made announcement. As we are structuring and in a new development of the Keshe Foundation, is worldwide application and implication. As we set up the structure for Universal Council, a number of Universal Council members have become old and they reach the age of 60 and they serve during the 60 years they are there till 61. They to run the functionality of the operation of the what we call energy dimension, the Universal Council members, if you want to become, please consider and let your soul decide of any languages around the world, as these will be announced very soon internationally, and we expect the souls to serve. And if it's from the knowledge seekers who understand the technology with dimension of the soul, you can apply to be added to and become a member of the Universal Council. The Earth Council is appointed by the Keshe Foundation on the grounds of true structure of the nationality, understanding the culture that there is no prejudice by physical dimension of the borders. And so if you feel your soul is there to serve humanity in expansion and the growth of it, just apply for it at the Keshe Foundation or send the email to info@keshe.foundation, say I would like to be a member of the Universal Council. We receive this regularly, and now we're going to expand this very rapidly due to what is to come and what is to be done. Thank you very much.
Okay, next we have the invitation from the Universal Council. Please go ahead, Mashfa.
We invite you to connect with member of Universal Council to send your questions to be answered each week and or the needs of your community. Thank you for joining us as a soul. And we there's a phone call coming, sorry. So this is something that we ask you, all of you, to consider. And this is, the time is now. The changes are there, and you, as a participant in the Universal Council or the Universal Council support member, can add to the momentum, the field strength, and thereby help our work and benefit many in the process. And hopefully we'll see you as a helping hand around us. And thank you very much again.
Okay, next I have a video from the last Knowledge Seekers workshop, number 635. It's about news from the Keshe Foundation. Let me just get the correct video here.
Someone did put a question in the Q&A. I don't know if anyone wants to read it or address it. Maybe I can just read it, since we were asking about the Universal Council. Is this Universal Council in communication with the Universal Alliance of Planets? If not, why not? Anyone? I'm not familiar with the Universal Council of Planets myself.
That probably answers the question.
I think
Say,
sorry. I think part of the function of the Universal Council is a bridge, a soul bridge, no? And they communicate with the other creature of the universe. But I don't know specifically alliance at the planet, because it's, you remember it, all at the planet and at the universe is at the same soul, but at different level. And of course, it's we intend to understand more about the knowledge of the creation, because we need increase it, our level of the soul, or communicate with the other. It's like the function like the satellites, souls, for communicate to the others. Maybe not conscientiously is be part of that.
Right. We know we have a
Yeah,
solid
sorry.
connection. We know we have a solid connection with every atom to
Yeah.
every other atom. So I would imagine we're connected to this, if there's such a thing as a universal alliance of planets. It does sound to me more like a matter state association. As we know, the universe is only about 5% matter state, but perhaps there's more to understand about this connection as well. But we know we're already connected to everything in every position, even though we're fully not aware of it. So we're connected, but whether we're having interactions, I think this is going to come as we become more peaceful. As I say, the universal community is here. This planet has always belonged to the universal community, but they're just a bit shy to show themselves because our proclivity to kill and destroy. And I think soon, again, soon could be another century, but the revelations will start to happen. Even with the movie that's coming out, I think Spielberg with this disclosure or day or something like this, they're again softly prepping. I think all of us, or the ones that have been wondering, certainly we're not in the Keshe Foundation. We know the universe is full of life, from the soul of this planet to the soul of the creator. But for many, it's going to be a gradual opening. And again, this is the larger family we've been talking about. It's just that our behavior is not commensurate with that sort of family operation. So we're being massaged in a way, soup being changed, fields being changed, that we can enter that dimension of the universal community. And I think, again, that dimension is right between your ears. That's the energy dimension. When Mr. Keshe says, my space technology, I always in the past have thought about space out there, but now I'm thinking it's space right here. As we know, the man exists and operates in the universe, and the universe exists and operates within the man. So that's what I'd like to say about that. Anyone else?
All right. Thank you, Mark. Next, we'll play the excerpt from the 635th Knowledge Seekers Workshop. And this will be news. It's about a 20-minute video, so just to let you know.
It was funny, at one point I remember where Mr. Keshe says we don't follow the news, we create the news. So this is an interesting aspect that we'll see more and more of in the near future, I believe.
Keshe Foundation, in its industrial capacity and what we are setting out to be, we announced we are looking for experts, people who understand the work of the expert, does not necessarily in Keshe Foundation technology, but in their own fields, which can help us. And many of you as knowledge seekers already been reached out by us, and you're supporting us in this venture. What we are looking for now is knowledge seekers who have developed or invented products, technologies, applications through Keshe technology, cosmic ray, gas production, energy, or whatever, or combination of the knowledge they gain from the Keshe Foundation and its technologies and their own expertise. Maybe you have commercialized or trying to commercialize, or you have actually got a working system, but you cannot get finance. So other people look ridiculous, but it has what it says. Contact the Keshe Foundation. We are at a position to allow you to commercialize your product. In a way, Keshe Foundation will commercialize in your conjunction with you, in collaboration as a company between you as the developer and marketing, structure of the market, production, management, and the rest by the Keshe Foundation. You will be given your own company to run with full supervision of the Keshe Foundation. We provide within internal structure of the Keshe Foundation facilities to produce to market. You have or by accident or by work, have come to develop something which is connected to our technology, but you can't get it marketed or you cannot find finance to market it, we are prepared to look into case by case and give you your own structure, offices, secretaries, production facilities, and the rest. We finance and you become part of the structure with the proviso that whatever developed, whatever goes, will be commercialized exclusively through the structure of the Keshe Foundation and open to the cash coin structure of purchase and sell, which means your product can be bought by those who play the game in exchange for us, which means the Keshe Foundation will accept the coins, convert it to currency of whatever it is, which nationality or which currency exchange in respect to your share. Which means if the product is sold for 100 euro, 30, 20, whatever agreement is between us and you receive in currency cash of your location. We hold the balance in cash coin, even though we finance the structure of the production, marketing, and the rest. We have already started talking to people who are already in the market. They want to use the cash technology. We put it, we are participating, we will participate in development, and in exchange that everything will be handled in under one roof and one structure. Those of you who join us in the bigger structure, as some of you have already done and you're operating, Keshe Foundation as an establishment is already setting up a structure of the education, its own school structure from young age till university, which means we teach our technology from class 1 in the school, which is set up by the Keshe Foundation. This structure has started, is in the process. By 2028, the first Keshe Foundation school will be operational in a specific position and condition. And so we start teaching the technology from the beginning that the children don't need to understand later on what's the problem between one or the other. One of the most, what we call reputable structure, educational structures we have to start to work with. And those of you who join us in bringing your technologies, you join your education of your children will be absolutely free in one of the most advanced structures. It will be paid by the foundation as long as it's within the structure we set up. At the same time, we set up, as part of those who join us, the structure of the medical system that Keshe Foundation technology in health will be applied by those who are with us freely in a position and time. This should be operational by late 2027, 2028. We are setting the first structures, very slow, very solid. And if you are a developer, if you have developed the technology, you move in the position we allocate. You receive salary as normal. We look after the education of your children and your health through the Keshe Foundation technology. We are building a structure that, at the same time as many of you are aware, self-sufficient through the technology and conversion. This process has already started. It's not something we are going to do. A number of your knowledge seekers have already moved into our centers, moved back. You help when it's needed, and you know exactly how we operate. We have started setting up a very large international structure with the help of knowledge seekers who understand us, but they have expertise. When we need, we ask for, and we thank those of you who have spent your time in past months in helping us to shape this for the future of the humanity. If you have technology which is relevant and is part of ours, contact info@keshe.foundation. You might not get a response immediately, but if we see your process, your knowledge, your technology can be a value to us for the process of peace and development of what we call our objectives, we invite you to join you. We invite you to join us. And I have set one policy, as many of the knowledge seekers who are now moving in this direction, you don't come on your own. We welcome the whole of the family. It's no use to humanity enjoy the pleasure of technology when the inventor suffers to be away from the structure of the family of the life. This is why we set up the school and the health system. If we accept you, your whole family join us, and you run your own business on the structure of the Keshe Foundation. Look in what you're doing, what you've done, and don't forget what you think is exclusively yours. Many people could have done. And if we choose one, does not mean that it's your technology, what you've done. We've seen many similar work between many knowledge seekers, and those who stand out that we see commercialization with all the manpower in it is possible. We'll invite you to join us. And those who are around us, they know how it works because they've already been or going through the system. So look in, you wanted to develop something, you wanted to make a prototype. Nobody believed you. We believe you, the same as when we invited you to Linz. We said, whatever you say, we accept. And we are prepared to. We have set up a structure within Keshe Foundation, which very slowly, we are not going to do hundreds of things. We look at the opportunities, the possibilities, and the spin-off. Be it on the edge of space technology, to farming, to house utensils, to be it part of automotive we can do. You show us it works, and if you have already commercialized it, but you cannot support it, we are prepared to look at. You have to understand something very clear. Keshe Foundation has established a blacklist. Those who have abused the Keshe Foundation, those who came around the Keshe Foundation and then we found out and now they think they have something, you are blacklisted. The same as we've done with the Belgians, now the American scientists, and the what we call Ghanaians. We are establishing those who are the time wasters and do nothing but harm. If you have developed a system, technology, product, you think it does and you can show it does, we are prepared to look at it, to test it, to evaluate it, and it's because our technology, we believe you, prepared to finance its development. It could be a spoon, it could be a car, it could be an engine, it could be a spacecraft. We are very open-minded, as you all know. If he uses our technology, we are prepared to discuss. Send us your technology, what it is, and or the product, what it is you're trying to market, you're trying to manufacture. We look at it. We have all the facilities set up to set such a thing in motion for you. We're doing it very slowly and very surely, and I'm sure within next, as I said,
weeks and months to come, you start seeing products of the Keshe Foundation, the new logo, which cannot be copied. None of you can replace it. And the structure you will see from agriculture to electronics and to automotive to space technology, step by step at a time. So you have something, maybe it's time to join us or bring it in forward to change your own lives, and we are prepared to back it. And finance is manufacturing setup, but all be done in one location, not anywhere else. We have set up what we call the, like very much like Silicon Valley, structure, massive area where it can absorb new technology, and we are working on it step by step. We invite you to join us in what we call Cosmic Ray Valley of the humanity. We are blind to color, race, and religion, but we are very, very, very careful about behavior of the nations. You have to understand what to do. In the operation of the Keshe Foundation and Space Technology, in a very near future, we will produce the gans of the soul of humanity. Wow. And one, we already have access to it, and our research centers, one of the steps in the next couple of years is where the connection with the, what we have, the new game, will connect with the soul of the man as is one soul, one planet, one nation. We have the technology, but the knowledge you guys have to reach the maturity to understand.
So for your project to offer mode to sell the stuff we invented, do you want the whole product, or do you want in the first place the concept of it, the blueprint?
We prefer something which is already physically there.
Good.
We see the sample, we look at it. We as I said to knowledge seekers, we have not wasted a cent of the Keshe Foundation in developing technologies and facilities. But we learn our lesson, we keep very quiet, need to know basis, and we operate that way. But sooner or later you see the new logo of the Keshe Foundation in products which will become worldwide operational. A lot has been done, a lot of knowledge seekers have put their lives onto it, and they're working in the background. Some of you come in, you are participating in the development of it, and I thank all of you for keeping the, what I call the secret. We need to do it this time this way that we don't get touched.
Yes.
And we are open, and many knowledge seekers, actually non-knowledge seekers, we have given opportunity recently to join this structure. We think they can be a part there or understand.
Thank you very much, Mr. Keshe.
Thank you very much. If you have anything, send us. Don't wait that we inform you tomorrow. We are very busy, and at the same time we're setting the structure to look at it soon. In the next few months, a division will be set up for new inventions and products that you can offer, and we look at it and we see if we have the opportunity to finance it and to build it, and you'll be the beneficiary of it. The rest comes into the structure of the foundation for the work.
Hello, Mr. Keshe. I've played the plasma game and earned 2,000 FCC. Does this mean that I have earned my 2 Keshe coins? How can I use them? I want to buy a Keshe coin wallet and other Cosmic Spring products with them. Could I do that now? Thank you.
You have to wait till we finish the structure. You have to earn 2 full coins. And
when the coin comes, depends what is on offer for exchange for coin. And we explain this is just give us a few more weeks, then this is fully done, then we do it, because the CC coin and a KC coin have to be set up connected properly. This is there was apparently a hiccup. Once this is done completely, then you exchange the Keshe coins to KC coin, which is a Keshe Foundation coin. But I'll tell you exactly how it works in detail, how you can exchange. You can only exchange where the structure the companies accept. If you go back on the game for the registration of playing the game, there are different levels: individuals, companies, and government. So as we transfer 8% of the transition from CC to KC, it will be allocated to the government. And it goes to a special account. The coin is produced for them. And as I said, we pay the government where you live, your resident of, not where you carry a passport of. And this is all should be done in next 3 months, wholly. And there's a lot of work getting done on this. We're trying to sort some hiccups. Even this morning we were working on it. And then you can exchange where it is and what it is. Because when you buy Keshe Foundation coins, KC coins from the game, we have to exchange between the two and to hold that we can dispose of those to pay our wages and expenses. And this is getting done. I think FCs is a very small amount in doing it. We'll publish a chart, how it works, how much you need. You need a full coin to exchange, and you get 90% of your CC to KC. And there'll be new products in the next few weeks that you can order and pay by that. And in a few weeks' time, in some positions, we deliver agricultural products and other things that you can buy Bitcoins, and gradually we go that way. Just done once we are ready, because we have to set up a lot of things getting set up in the background. So it's not just to play one game and just make 2,000, 2 coins a month and walk away. This is and hopefully developers, when they come in, they make the game much more complicated, much more thinking wise in our way. But it's set up once it's fully operational, because there's a lot of things needs to be set up still. 2 coins a month should be doable.
Right.
The system is set up that the robot cannot take over and just make money. You cannot go mining.
Right. So George, who has 2,000 FCC, which is more than I think anybody has,
at the Pico level.
That's yeah, that would be at the Pico level of coin, which would be pretty tiny wee.
Which is tiny wee. But this will change once the system is structured. As I was explaining earlier on today, we have to. It's no use winning the game for collecting coin when you cannot do anything with it. Keshe Foundation can absorb some of the coin, because the coins we buy from you, we become central bank. You're given the coin, you pick up the coins. But then we have to cash these coins, where people come as investors to us, and they want to buy the coin. And we sell the coins you collect from the game to the institutions. You understand? And institutions and companies or whatever know that there is no variation in the currency. So it always stays that price, because everything is fixed to its position. And this is where the change will start up. But the actual, if you notice, we don't promote the game as such, which we can do everywhere. we're just waiting for all the teething and all the problems sorted in the background. It's only been going for a week or so, and then we develop it further, and then within the next few months we go worldwide with it. This is why we've connected it to you become part of the Keshe Foundation once you register. And it's not a cryptocurrency game, as we saw this week. And what do you call it? The BlackRock launched a new coins to do with nuclear weapons or nuclear technology, which is unheard of, such a thing. Well, we know what's the end game they are doing. But this is for a change of social structure, because governments in maybe a year, 2 years' time use the cash coin for internal payments because it's a stable currency stance.
Okay, that completes our excerpt from the last 635th Knowledge Seekers Workshop. Let me get back to my program here. Looks like next we have the knowledge and understanding about the 635th Knowledge Seekers Workshop. With, well, Mark, I think you're up, or others that would like to contribute. Mark, are you available?
Yeah.
Or who else should, we have Stefania and Dean, but I don't believe they're here, so.
Just check and see. Anyone else want to share anything about this workshop? Again, he's talking about the connection, that we're all connected. So the idea that we have to get connected, that's the default position. We already are connected to everything, from the cell up to the soul of the planet, up to the creator. So it's all connected. We don't have to worry so much about how or trying to connect. I just accept that as a given understanding that everything is created. And if you understand it came from one source and it returns to one source, we can see all the connections right there. But this is the idea of creating every structure apparently out of this collection of energies, whether it's a cell or a sun or a solar system or a galaxy. It all starts with energy, and this is why we're looking into this energy dimension. And of course, joining us every day for a nanosecond or longer, you can start to explore and open up this mystery of the matter state of the entity to its energies. We're quite comfortable in the matter state, but not so comfortable in the energy state because we can't see it in a way or smell it in a way or touch it in a way. This is what Da Vinci was on his quest to find that power source and so on, but we're understanding it. And of course, Rick mentions the largest organ in the body quite often. What is that organ, Rick? It's called the cytostatial fluid.
Interstitial fluid.
Okay, so as we said earlier, man exists and operates in the universe exists and operates in the man, and we see this fluid as very much as the energies connecting the entire galaxy. So this is not so far-fetched. What we see in macro, we see in micro. What we see in micro, we see in macro. But we've never considered the energy side, and this is what we're opening ourselves up to. Understanding how, if we, let's say, curb certain practices, we can actually extend the life cycle of our soul. Even though at many points he said that the soul is already, like the creator, has existence forever, but apparently there is a cycle of a soul, and that cycle can be extended or shortened based on our behavior, I guess, in the matter state. But the idea of the being connected, he used the bracelet, of course, with the little charms hanging off it as starting from the creator. And I consider those little charms like PM tics, the cosmic ray or field of rays. It's interacted along its path, created some little charms, different looking, different objects. Maybe some are beads, maybe some are silver, some are gold. Those are the PM tics. And then that bracelet goes back around to the creator. And all the energies that the PM tics created, or entities or whatever, in their whole process, actually return to the creator. Very similar as the water is picked up by the clouds. It's the same kind of simple idea. In the matter state, it goes back up into the clouds as the gas, and then it's released again in another location as the rain, and this cycle continues, and the same cycle continues in the process of the universe. And of course, he talked about being weak enough to absorb the fields of the creator as well. Apparently, weakness decides more than strength. And this is how where we actually, I believe, find the creator in these little interaction of very, very tiny, tiny fields. And of course, that was demonstrated in Beijing, where we saw nothing happening for so many hours or maybe a day. Those reactors were running, but they were interacting, but we couldn't see it. So this is where the creation started. That's part of the process Mr. Keshe was showing in Beijing, the little hole. Let's put a little hole in the Big Bang Theory, that it doesn't start from the top and sort of melt down. It actually, the creation starts from the bottom and builds up until it flips in a way, or gains enough, or loses enough energy to appear as a matter state in interaction with inertia. Again, it's very deep. He talked about orbits of planets and things, and these workshops go in very deep. But I think by playing the game, some of these understandings, and even though you can hardly imagine by playing a game that ethos could sink into you or knowledge could sink into you, I think this is the way they're going to start transferring, even though, as Mr. Keshe said, there is a matter state sort of school being developed from the earliest point on to the university level. Imagine teaching a mother teaching her child that the child doesn't actually need the breast. It can actually receive the energy through the wish or wanting that energy from the mother without physical contact. So these children in this understanding will go quite deep, and I think it'll become quite unshakable in their understanding, even if someone puts the formula E equals MC squared, they can see where the flaw is in that. And of course, Mr. Keshe has pointed this out as well many times. So we're actually sitting in the center of the creation rather than somewhere on the outside of it. And he used that example of the mother standing, you're looking out over the horizon, over the ocean. Will I ever see my mother? And the creator is actually standing right in back of you. So you're connected. And I think this was part of what we're starting to understand, that we are all connected together. And that's part of this whole program. One planet, one nation, one race for world peace. And then we go to the next step, which is more, I believe, interaction with the universal community in a physical dimension, or I think more of them exist in the dimension of energy. And that universe that they exist in is right between your ears. Again, being impartial, this is just my understanding. But that's where I think part of this, or the majority of this space technology, is right within that reactor, located on the top of your head between the hydrogen of the mayonnaise of the brain and the central energies of the soul of the man. This is the reactor. This is the twinity system. And it's connected to every other twinity system, whether it's a man, a bug, a butterfly, or another planet, let's say, or another entity across the universe. Of course, he talked about GPS, and I've often wondered about that as well. How would I go to a place that I've never been to or not aware of? But apparently our central energies has every GPS position and create every, again, dimension right within that universe where you can actually travel in the energy dimension. I don't know how much you travel, but you certainly physically travel, but you certainly interact. It's almost, as he said in the previous workshops, about tuning that radio into the correct frequency or channel. And again, it's everyone has a radio, and it's for you to sort of tune in. But apparently working in this dimension of energy is much easier than working in the matter state. And that's how, again, I was thinking earlier in the gameplay, he's talking about delivering things. Is he going to deliver physical things? Maybe at times. But most of this travel, the feeding, the energy, let's say, will be directed towards the soul of the man, which will then feed and balance the body of the man. So he's actually interacting in a way, or the system is interacting with your central energies to create these sort of conditions where you can absorb energies as food, you can travel in the dimension of energy, or perhaps in the future fully manifest yourself. And then, of course, power for lighting and perhaps even power for yourself. This is what he said about those attending these very large research and well-appointed research centers will take care of your education, of your family, as well as your health. So this is what is being developed, and the development, some of the development is happening in the monthly sessions, which are called right now transmission sessions, where I believe it's being developed so that they can perfect the idea of transmission of emotions through gameplay. Perhaps they'll even have certain things, you're sad and you want to be happier, you can perhaps absorb these fields, or you're hungry as well. That was the first thing Mr. Keshe said when he went to the world leaders a quarter century or more ago. I can teach the people on this planet how to feed themselves and how to generate their own power. And of course, maybe he's not going to release the technology to do such a thing in the matter state, but in the energy dimension, it'll be brought through the one planet game, as I see it, or gameplay. And it's all connected. It's all being set up. It's in its infancy, so don't look for perfection today. But it's being developed, and we give energies to those who are developing it in the background, because this is the backbone of the work of the Keshe Foundation and how the technology is going to be distributed. As he said, they destroyed his research center, or historical research center that Mr. Keshe worked in. So by building certain systems in Australia or Brazil or something, they can be tampered with or destroyed. So that's why I think he's using the cosmic ray technology, which can't be interfered with and can't be tampered with, for so many beautiful things that we'll see arise in the future. But it's in its infancy, and it's for us to help to bring it and support it and give it as a gift to humanity. So this is, again, there were many other systems. He talked about other medical systems and so on, as we heard. I don't think the medical patent has even been seen. I know I've asked Rick if he's seen it, but apparently there's an entire medical patent, as well as the original patents of Mr. Keshe, that are going to be opened up, apparently. So yes, the workshop is deep, but again, it's between you and your central energies to sort of open it up. But we're getting help, as I understand it, because there's things embedded nowadays in the workshops. And as he said, they'll be embedded within the game. If they have not already been embedded, they're going to be and will be increasing. To increase your knowledge, your understanding, and peace, especially. He said this whole idea of peace in the World Peace Treaty is starting with yourself first, not so much the others. So this is where it's for you to open and investigate this knowledge. And every week we get another Pandora's box. If you think you've solved it in 5 days, I haven't been able to do that, or 6 or 7. As we understand, these teachings are so deep, they'll be opened up for centuries. We also understand that it's going to take more than all of us on this planet to open up this knowledge. And this is where we see the interaction of the universal community. And perhaps entities like 3I that will have some interaction with them. And that's part of the setup of the Universal Council, is to bridge that gap between those in the matter state in the universe, plus the majority of those in the universe in the energy dimension. But you're carrying the reactor with you at all times to interact in that dimension. And once we start using some of these systems or transmuting in this game, let's say, again, virtually, I think you'll start to create that real dream. Very similar to, I consider this a very large reactor. Take that original egg, the Ubisos, and expand this into the world. And this is what we're privileged to bring and develop, as you see it. Again, no one's forced into this game, but it will make life less harsh in the future. And especially for those who have an idea and couldn't get financing. I think there was a question in the Q&A about that. But yeah, many beautiful things, and it's all being laid out. They're handling most things in the background. All we're being asked to do is play, support, and enjoy the gifts of the Keshe Foundation. And of course, if you develop anything, please run it through the Keshe Foundation. You may have a whole new career for yourself, a new product for humanity that's never been seen before. Yeah, you might have a typical product, but this will be enhanced by the plasma technology. So this gives everyone an opportunity in a way, even though they won't commercialize everything right away. As he said, we're not going to do all the things, but they'll concentrate on whatever fits at this point in time. I certainly would like to make little spoons and things like that out of copper. I thought that was a great idea, Mr. Keshe, when he brought up about the teaching of the copper and the antimicrobial and the benefits to the physical body. I noticed on Amazon that one spoon is about $17 made out of copper. We had heard in the past where it was mentioned where you can have a microwave size, in a way, printer, and you don't put any copper into it, but you could actually make a copper cup because the fields are mined out of the energies of the universe. So you could actually sell a copper spoon for maybe $2 or $3 and still make 1,000% or more profit on it. So that's a whole market for someone. I don't think I'll be doing that per se. I'll probably buy my copper utensils. Of course, I'm using them less and less as time goes on, but we're still using them. And I think they have, as he said, knowingly or unknowingly can bring benefit. So there's many, many opportunities in many, many different areas within the Keshe Foundation. And so bring your thoughts and your ideas and so on. As he said in this workshop, your thoughts are the biggest drain on your soul. And that's why we encourage the thinking, speaking, and acting good. Of course, it's a lot easier said than done, but we're making that sort of approach. So the thoughts are very powerful. This is part of your reactor and part of a system, a twinity system that I think you'll carry with you. So using it now to elevate others, connecting with others, again, these are not coincidences anymore. This is actually part of our nature. This is the way the Creator operates on this energy dimension. And we are chameleons as we understand it. We exist both in matter and we can play in the energy dimension. So that's what I thought I'd share. There's much, 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 much more in this workshop, but we heard part of it. I think that was the first question that we heard part of that in the clip that Rick played. Anyone else like to add anything? Again, I'm sure I've missed more than I've shared with you.
Mark, you mentioned the largest organ of the body, the interstitial fluids.
Yes.
And I was going to interject that Mr. Keshe mentions the lymph as
yes,
the same system basically. And Tender had asked a question in our YouTube. Are the interstitial fluids the circulatory system of the lymphs? And I would say a big yes to that. In fact, the interstitial fluids, the lymph is part of the interstitial fluids, and there's more to it than just the lymph, but basically it's that same system. And it's both the feeding system for the cells of the body, and it's also the septic system for the cells of the bodies, as well as the information highway part of the structure. So in a way, it's almost like the soul, the physicality, perhaps we could say.
Yeah, you're more of an expert on this because you've brought it up for years about this fluid and so on. And this is what we see in the universe as well. I think the transitional matter is what makes up most of the energies of the universe, huge gravitational fields. But this is very similar to the lymph, I believe, or this fluid,
Exactly.
clear liquid fluid. And that's where the transitional energies are. This is part of the space, let's say, between matter state or even between other entities that haven't taken on a matter configuration. It's the same fluid. And this is the cosmic rays. This is the connection to everything, the same as our body. So again, it proves true. What we see in the micro, we see in the macro. If you don't understand the micro, look to the macro. If you don't understand the macro, look to the micro. And I'm not saying that I'm there yet. I'm on the same train as everyone else, learning more about myself and more about the creator and the creation and this whole process of how it works. And looking for those small and weak fields to connect to the creator. I remember Mr. Keshe saying the creator is small, weak, and a giver, which totally went against my image of the creator as this most powerful, sitting on this huge throne and the rest of this. But of course, that was indoctrinated through the organizations, let's say, I was attending at the time. But it definitely stuck with me. But now we know it's a bit of a different process, at least the creation, starting from the small and building up to the matter state. So gradually, slowly, collectively, we're all being touched. And it's not only the humans, it's every one of us. To become more peaceful, I believe, means to become more enlightened. The more enlightened, the more peaceful you should become. So a great test for each and every one of us to look and see, how peaceful are we? Maybe our physicality is peaceful, but is that universe in your mind, the thoughts, are those peaceful? This is what I've been working on more and more, because we think much more than we speak, and we speak much more, I believe, than we act. So getting to the source and trying to balance out. And I'm not there. Again, I'm still approaching it. But these long thoughts and everything, as he said, is the biggest drain on our central energy. So think good, speak good, act good, and realize that we're all connected. You just need to tune to it. Anyone else? Yeah.
Thank you, Mark.
Yeah, no problem.
Yes, is there any other comments on the last workshop?
I'll add a little bit about this interstitial fluid and lymph part. Here we, as we all know, our physical structure itself is a universe unto itself. So when we look at it from physical point of view, we see lymph and interstitial fluids and all. But much of it, there is the other aspect of interstitial fluid, which Mark was referring to as the transition field. So the fields are everywhere, both inside and outside. So let's, considering the human body to be a universe unto itself, there is this field energies that are always there, that connects everything, whether we consider it at the let's say, planetary level, or within, let's say, the solar system, or within our body. The energy is always there around connecting everything together. There is energy flow or channels of energy flow happening, and they exist everywhere. So what is interesting here is that we are more focused on the physical side, but can we focus more on the energetic side a little more? Then perhaps we don't have to rely on the material side as much. And this attachment to some of these material aspects of things, yes, it certainly helps in our understanding, but things are connected together at the energetic level in a much more, what do you call it, interesting way. Even let's take the example of ocean on this planet. The water itself has very interesting energetic properties, as we all know, because we have all used it in our GANs and things like that. So it holds together, we know about this physical form, we touch it every day and things like that. But if we look a little more carefully into water, it holds energy too. And it permeates things within us and even outside of us and in our ocean. So this kind of things are these energetic aspects of whether it's interstitial fluid, limbs, is a very important aspect. And beyond that, energy also connects things together. Energy is more of a glue than any physical medium. Even that has energetic properties, given the condition that it is put in. Water is an example of it. And so it's not just our understanding that is important in this kind of fields that fields of energy that fills the empty space, whether it's between atoms, between electrons and protons and neutrons, it doesn't matter, or the planet. It's the idea of these fields. In a way, there is nothing called empty space. And if there is no empty space, there is a lot to play with. And as we become more attuned to these kind of things, we'll understand how to use it. And as we explore both the inner space and the outer space. And there is a lot more, of course, in the meeting about, especially not just this part, but what Mr. Keshe called the bracelets. Things connected from one level to another, starting at the level of creator, and then descending from universe universe to cluster of galaxies, solar systems, and so forth, and down to us, and then we go even further down to the cells and the atoms in the cells, and the electrons and protons, and as we get down to neutron, we're back to the principal field of hydrogen that connects the bracelet back to its origin.
So,
go ahead.
Mosfek, if I could ask, he seems to be emphatic that we're all connected, and without a doubt through these cosmic rays. Then why is he making a GANs of humanity to connect all humanity together? So we can see each other as more equal, or see that soul instead of the physicality? Why, if we're already connected, why is he making a GANs for humanity to be connected?
Well, the connection aspect is this, you know, we are connected to the Creator. And that, the principal field, all of us and everything there is. But having direct access to the Creator, or direct access to the source of knowledge, and its application requires a, let's say, for lack of a better word, higher degree of engagement. Now, for us who are not quite there, we can operate with other energy fields closer to the ones that we are more familiar with. And that's where we get help in, let's say, through the cosmic ray based GANs that Mr. Keshe is talking about, or even the enhancement units for that matter. Do we need enhancement unit? Do we need these things? Not really, if we can directly connect them. But we're not quite there. So there are degrees of, what do you call it, help available. And it's one of those.
So is he making this GANs for the souls to realize they're connected? Or do they already realize all the souls realize they're connected? Is this the GANs of humanity? What did he say? The soul of humanity? So is this?
We'll know how that, how its application as we become familiar with it. But you know, this various levels that are connected to the mainstream that connects us to the Creator and the bracelet. But each of these beads of the bracelet, in a way, you can think of this as a bracelet unto itself, and it has its own level of energies that it can connect a whole set of entities in that at that energy level. So we, for example, on this planet are connected. Human society is nowadays connected through internet and all of the things. Although we didn't have this level of connection. Now we have mobile phone, and some people are even exploring telepathic communication and things like that. So these are different levels of connections, but all are useful in their own context. But that doesn't mean that there are other ways of communication or connecting things. So it's in stages.
When I used to go to those certain services and so on, they said we needed an intermediary to be connected to the Creator. And they promoted that quite heavily.
Yeah, but it's kind of like, if we are limping, if we don't know how to walk properly and we are carrying a stick, and to go from one place to another, those who wants to maintain the status quo, they want to see the stick being used, and they don't want people to know that it is possible to walk without a stick. So it's kind of like that kind of situation, this intermediary factor. That stick is an intermediary, useful intermediary nevertheless. But at some point, we have to learn to walk. So that's it, enhancement unit is, same thing. One can start up a religion with enhancement unit for that matter, in a way. That's an intermediary, but it's an intermediary, but it's for the process of learning. As we get educated, we go through different stages, different teachers, different institutions, and so forth. These are all intermediaries.
Okay, perhaps we can segue into the transmutation time, since you've pretty much been there already.
All right, I got disconnected. I guess I was getting offline, getting off the,
No, we heard you. We heard you. We heard you up to the time where I interrupted there. We were hearing you fine. So,
but it's okay. So I didn't hear your interruption, by the way. So
my interruption was to, I thought that it was a good segue, what you were saying, into the transmutation time. So I thought it was
all right, let's do it. Let's do it. I guess I think.
And then you transmuted, and
yeah, well,
here we are back again.
I guess that was a hint that, it's time to move on. Okay, but anyway. So let's one of the reason I kind of brought up the bracelets is to set up context for the transmutation stuff that I was going to talk about. So let's kind of like get into it. And so today, today is one of those days I'm not eating for a long time. And so at a few hours back, I was walking, but I wanted to, and I was getting, past some nuts I like, and I was thinking, oh, too bad I can't. I mean, I self-imposed fasting. You can call it that or whatever. No, it's actually not self-imposed fasting because I can do that energy transfer. So it's not really. I'm not denying myself of anything. But so as I was getting past this nut, I wanted to feel the flavor. I can do the energy transfer, but I don't feel the flavor of, let's say, the nut that I like. So I stood there and I said, let's see whether I can get the taste of it or the flavor of it. I was not so much thinking about taste. And actually it worked. And I kind of thanked the nut, but so it was a transmutation that happened right there. Is that in my understanding or in the process of doing something? So I never thought about energy transfer in terms of tasting something. When energy transfer, do I need to taste? But I mean, we are so used to the food that we have been accustomed to. Speaking of intermediary, food is one such intermediary that we've been using for ages on this planet to transfer energy. So we are very much attached to it. So although I am able to transfer energy, but that attachment hasn't completely gone away. It's not that I need it, but sometimes I can go back to it, let's say, in a way. But in this case, I can go back to it without consuming one of these nuts or some of these nuts. So this, we have some ways to go. Yes, we'll be able to do some things, using our understanding of plasma energy, but not all of us are going to make the transition in one go. So learning to transmute or learning to operate at an alternate energy level. It's not that we will learn all the various levels there is to it. We will try some, get accustomed to it, and then, see that, various ramifications of it because of our previous engagement. And the nuts example is really that yes, it is possible to transfer energy, but I still eat and drink because I live with other human beings who are not yet used to it as much. And I'm still attached to some of the tastes that I like. But here's an interesting thing. As we learn transmutation, we are benefiting, yes, ourselves in a way, elevating our capacity, our soul. But let's look at it, transmutation, from a slightly different angle in terms of how does transmutation benefit other souls? Yes, we have to put our effort to enhance our ability to transmute, but how does transmutation help other souls? So here, of course, the consumption of food. So we are not using the physicality of other animals or life forms to supply us with energy. So our ability to transfer energy directly is saving the lives or physicality of these entities that we would consume otherwise. That's one, that's a very obvious one. But beyond that, what else do we have here? If we see one of us doing a certain transmutation, what happens? It breaks our previous paradigm that no, it's not possible to live without eating. Yes, they will, complain about it. Why don't you have dinner with us? Why don't you have tea with us? Things like that. But it sets an example. It's an education process as well, where they're conditioning that you need food to exist is no longer valid. And even people who know some of the things I do, they have difficulty with this idea that it is possible to exist without food. I talk about it to them, but still they see it happening in front of them, but they don't believe it. It's very interesting. And it's not them. And then it comes to the point of what am I missing? Other beings, whether they're visible or not, may be demonstrating to me things that I'm missing just because of my preconceived ideas. So transmutation frees us from attachment to old ways of doing things, or primitive ways of doing things, or ways of doing things of those who never cared to learn anymore, or never cared to get closer to the Creator. And this is the thing. When we talk about intermediaries, in a sense, take us away from our ability to get closer to the Creator. The closer to the Creator we can get to, the more we can transmute in the sense that we can operate at different energy levels that is at this point seem elusive to us. So those who are intermediary, are they the devil because they're keeping us away from the Creator? No, not really. It's just that our current limitation, they're filling that gap. But what is important here is that our intention to move further is what driving us away from having to rely on intermediaries. So learning to transmute is that thing, that part. To move away from over-reliance on intermediaries. Whether it's the, what do you call it, the priest or the religious, local religious leader, it can be even a spaceship. Although we may build one as something to play with while we learn. Nevertheless, whatever we do, let's have fun with it and let's benefit others along the way. It's fun for not just those who learn to transmute, and it's fun for those who are observant. At first, it may be a little bit difficult as it rubbed the wrong way, but in the end, it works out. Thank you very much. I think that's all I wanted to talk about today. Anyone else want to add anything to it? I think we have less engagement today partly because of the time change, perhaps. But soon people will get adjusted to it, and I think things will get better. Here we are again stuck with time. But anyway, in any case, thank you very much, and we move on to the next stage unless there is someone else to talk or present their ideas. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Mashfaq. You see, I believe we can move into another excerpt from the last Knowledge Seekers workshop. And this is about the April session coming up. That would be the transmission session. Okay, this is a short excerpt, about 5 minutes. Let me share that now.
There are a couple of things which, as part of the process of the Keshe Foundation and what is happening to us, I would like to, in a way, explain. The session of the tomorrow is changed to sometimes in April. We inform you exactly when, as we would like to test something and are just waiting for it to be in position that we can do. As usual, we make some announcements and bring some points forward. One of the things that is getting worked on by those who are responsible for this part, we're trying to limit the April session through a different way of connection to the wellness center, or what we call to our central system. In the April session, if hopefully everything is done according to what I've been told, you will not hear anybody else. So we can directly interact with you during the session without anybody else. You're on your own single channel. This will be set up through the what we call the Enlightenment Game. And we do not know the limit of how many of you we can accommodate up to. But at the moment when we go through Zoom, we will not be using Zoom. We'll be using the Keshe Foundation KF connection in the Enlightenment Games. That try to register if you want to be part of the April session. You have to enroll through the Enlightenment Game with a connection with the KF. It'll all be set up. We explain to you the day before or the week before we do it, that you will be on your own channel, which means, for example, up to now, many of you got disturbed with people sneezing, going to sleep, snoring, and whatever. From now on is one-to-one. It'll be one-to-one. And we want to test this for a number of people, and not a larger scale, maybe 30, 40, 50 people. And with that way, we can transmit the what we call the exact process to individuals. This will be when in the future 10,000 people with the Apple come online, they want to have the energy of the Apple, they just go to that channel for the energy of the Apple. So this is part of the process you will have in April session. One thing which I would like to ask you or tell you is that April session is for addiction only. Because when we did the addiction session, we had a huge success with it. A lot of you lost a lot of your addiction. If you lost addiction, don't come in. You can get it back. We know this because you reset the reset. If you are addicted to anything and addiction goes, preset your mind to that addiction, and you have to come through the what we call the enlightenment and peace game. As I'm aware and a lot of things happening, the enlightenment and peace game will become a source of a lot of things for knowledge seekers in the future. And this is the first time we are trying it. So if you are registering for what we call April session, or was supposed to be tomorrow, one of the delays is that you do not use Zoom anymore. You'll be given, you go through your own channel, through what we open up to you. We give you the instruction when the time comes. You go through the game to reach to the session. And the first session, we want to go back and test, reconfirm the addiction. And we'll set up everything from our side as usual, and it'll be one-to-one. You hear no one, it's just you and the system. And it's irrelevant how many people are on the system. You only hear us at the beginning, and then the rest is in your hand.
Okay, that completes that excerpt from 625th Knowledge Seekers Workshop. Back to our presentation here. And that brings us to the next part of our program, the needs and wishes. And you see, perhaps we can address, you see, I thought we had a question here.
I think we tried to address the first one, Rick, about the planets. The Planetary Association.
I think we pretty much dealt with it. Ike had a question about, so would you say that interstitial fluid and lymph is all part of blood? I don't think that the blood's directly associated that way.
Would you think that the fluid is around the veins and arteries, Rick, perhaps?
Yeah, more like that.
More ubiquitous throughout the body, but not perhaps inside each organ or cell. It's sort of the connection. You drink a cup of water, you're thirsty, and as soon as that water hits the tongue, you sort of get a sensation flowing through you. That's the lymph or the cosmic ray, I guess, connection, where it's instantaneous. As soon as it touches the mouth, it almost like refreshes the entire body. Or perhaps even when you're holding the cup, but I think as it touches, you sort of feel that's transferred, I think, through the lymph in a way.
Also, if you were to be so unfortunate as to regurgitate that water that you just drank, shortly after, even a few seconds after, but certainly a minute after, it would look totally different than the water that went in to our mouth, and we would not want to drink it again, probably, because it's already been converted to a GANS water, basically, inside the body, and it looks, it's a different fluid than water. When we open up the body, we never see water coming out, in spite of 3/4 of the body is supposed to be made of water. But how often, when you cut yourself, does water pour out? Not really. We do have some clear fluids, such as tears and whatnot, but tears are not really, they're water, but they're special water.
Yeah, the same with the saliva, I think, as well. He said it's not saliva, it's plasmatic water. So once you put something into this field, it starts interacting immediately with the structure. A piece of food, the atoms start to break apart. They start to disassociate because it's in that vacuum condition. So yeah, many things, but I was thinking the saliva as well is actually plasmatic water, if I understand it correctly.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we have another question in the chat here from Sheila, who asks, have any been to 3i Atlas? If not, do you know how? And we did spend some time with 3i Atlas in the fall, especially last fall. And Mr. Keshe has gotten into quite a bit of detail about 3i Atlas and about the connection to 3i Atlas and about how to connect with 3i Atlas as well. Anything that you can think about or say about that?
Well, I don't know how much we touched 3i Atlas, but perhaps some did. But certainly the energies that was released by 3i Atlas touched everything on this planet and in the solar system, it appears. Some passengers were perhaps picked up. It's like a big bus route, apparently, with a 3,000-year circle. So some were departing off of that entity, some were arriving onto that entity. And again, they've copied and cataloged the work of the 3i, which scientists in the future will study. But I felt in a way I was connected, but I didn't see any faces or anything or craft that I can recall. But we already understand we're all connected. So that's just the default position. We're all connected, to me. Again, just being impartial, my understanding. At this point, and of course tomorrow that could change completely as we gather new information, as is the way the scientific method goes.
Okay, thank you, Mark.
I would suggest listening to some of our old workshops, and we even talked about, well, some of the knowledge seekers also did try to connect with it. So I don't think that exists, that information is as readily available as the material that's available in the workshop. But I think a good starting point would be the workshops during that time, that December time frame, some before and after, around that time.
And that connection is still solid, but it doesn't have to be in our vicinity, does it, to connect to 3i? Or does it have to be in our solar system to connect? No.
I'm going to put the link to the Brazilian transcriptions so that if folks do want to do some searching.
Yeah, just find the dates of when 3i was approaching. And in that whole period, there were many, many parts of the workshop that were covered. And much of this has been unraveled, or I should say a small amount of it has been unraveled, about its occupants, about their system, how they travel, what their purpose. It was all included, and it's been cataloged for further research. And of course, what was transferred by the 3i is the exact process I think is being replicated now in these transmission sessions. As he said, as we absorb certain energies or adjust it under certain energy conditions, then we can go to the next step. In other words, you can't go to second base until you get to first base in the field area. So as we've absorbed energies from 3i, now we're sort of pre-positioned to absorb other energies. But that part of the process was needed to get to the next step, from first base to second base to third base to back home again. So that's all it is. And that work is being replicated. That work is being replicated in the transmission sessions and will be embedded into the gameplay, as we're all very soft targets for cosmic rays, if you know how to use them and play with them.
All right, very good. Well, let's move on to our needs and wishes here. I had Marinez for the first wish, so I think we'll need a substitute for that.
I'll do it. We, the Universal Council, give freely from our soul to elevate the soul of the leaders to achieve peace in the Middle East now.
Remind folks we have 30 seconds of silence after each of these wishes. And Mark, if you could go ahead with this one, please.
Thank you, Rick. We, the Universal Council, elevate the soul of the leaders and the population throughout the American continent to live in harmony, respecting each nation as equal. These are our wishes, and our wishes we command.
We, the Universal Council, give from our soul collectively to protect all the world and Iran from all evil.
We, the Universal Council, give from our soul for protection of those living with fear in natural disaster areas, and our soul wishes to help cover all emotional and physical needs.
We, the Universal Council, elevate the souls of the leaders involved in conflicts in Sudan and other areas only by greed, with unconditional love and inner peace, so that they respect the lives of all population, because okay, this is the part that's difficult.
I think the sun is in your eyes.
Because
they are sovereign and free.
Yeah, they are sovereign and free. Okay. Anyway, we have to change the background a little bit here. All right.
We, the Universal Council, give through our souls that Russia and Ukraine can find peace for the sake of all the families of the planet.
I guess I'll do this slide. We are here to serve and not to be served, the Universal Council.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Mashfaq. And thanks, of course, to all the members and support members of the Universal Council for presenting today's workshop. Let me get my background image up here. Go. And thanks to everyone for being here today to experience the 424th One Planet, One Nation, One Race for Justice and World Peace here on Tuesday, March 31st, 2026, the last day of March. And tomorrow on April 1st, we have the Keshe Plasma Reactor Group. And that'll start at the 7 a.m. Central European Summer Time. We've now switched to Central European Summer Time as opposed to Central European Time. That's CEST as opposed to CET. So do check out your local time for the next couple of workshops until you get into the groove of the new adjustment. Again, Keshe Plasma Reactor Group starts at 7 a.m. Central European Time on Wednesday, April 1st. And of course, we have the Knowledge Seekers Workshop coming up on Thursday, April 2nd. And as far as we know, that'll start at the 9 a.m. Central European Summer Time. And I'm sure Mr. Keshe will have much more to offer at that time, so do tune in. Okay, I think that brings to a close today's workshop. We go out with a bit of song and dance here on our way out, as Shweta likes to exclaim. And I see that there's a couple of comments about dancing in our YouTube as well. Ascension says, I like to dance a little when feeling a wish. Okay, thank you. And so we'll go out with our flight enhancement spaceship unit music version. And again, thank you everyone for attending today's workshop. And a big thanks, of course, to the Universal Council for being here for us. Okay, bye for now.